Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the video. Today I have some more Minecraft news to share with you all because it's minecon week. Minecon is now in just 2 days, and that means that we've seen the very last of the 4 mobs that are going to be voted on at Minecon. One of these 4 mobs will be added to the game, and today we finally saw Mob D, or the Hovering Inferno. So whenever people who made the guess that this would be like some form of Nether mob because it looked a lot like a witch slash a blaze, it actually is going to be a Nether mob. It's going to be a blaze variant, and it sounds pretty actually. And I wanted to show you the mob and talk about it in today's video. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Like it if you do like it, because it helps out the channel and lets know you do like the Minecraft news. I want to keep on seeing it every single day that it does come out. We have one more day till Minecon, and I imagine we'll see even more announcements then. So again, best way is to like the video, let me know, and also turn on notifications so you can see these videos every single day. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's go into Jeb explaining Mob D, or the Hovering Inferno, right now.
During Minecon Earth, you get to vote for Mob D, the Hovering Inferno. This is a master blaze, which body parts look like shields that will be used to defend itself. The Hovering Inferno spawns with a group of blazes as a random encounter in the Nether. It has a shockwave attack that is very dangerous, and you will definitely need some flame protection to defeat this mob. You should vote for Mob D, because it would make the Nether even more scary and exciting.
So that is Mob D, the Hovering Inferno, like we've said before. That name honestly doesn't sound like much of a Minecraft mob. I mean, maybe these are all code names or something. But yeah, basically this is going to be a variant on the Blaze. And honestly, first impression is this is the least exciting of the 4 mobs. Every one of the other mobs we've been like, yes, we need water content. Yes, we need some flying mobs. Yeah, we need some, well, it'd be cool to have, you know, some form of enchant-based mob. This mob we're like, you know what? Oh yeah, so it's another Nether mob. And although the Nether has been neglected, the last update we received something for was the, you know, the Wither Skeleton back in 1.4. It's been a really long time since we received new Nether content, but I don't think this is the right way to go, because bear in mind, you know, the reasons it doesn't sound so exciting is because it spawns with a bunch of blazes, which means it's essentially like just a blaze boss, like a bigger version of a blaze, and mob variants in Minecraft traditionally aren't that popular and aren't that exciting. So think about the, the baby zombie. That thing is just annoying, and this would be a Nether version of that, and given that the Nether is already so hostile, it has blazes, it has ghasts, it has wither skeletons, do we need more things to make the Nether more dangerous? You know, Jeb says it would make the Nether more exciting, and some people are on board with that. Some people do think this is the coolest mob, but personally I think unless this had the most amazing loot in the game, better than the loot from the other 4 mobs, I think there would be no real way to justify it. And that could be the big twist on this that makes it, you know, better. But I feel like unlike the other mobs where you're like, this could be good for that reason and it'd be annoying for that reason, realistically this mob would just make the Nether harder, which I don't necessarily think has too much of a benefit for most people. Like, I don't get excited when I think about the Nether being harder personally, because I think it's already pretty well balanced and pretty tricky. I think making the overworld harder or making caves harder, yeah, there's an argument for that, but I think the Nether doesn't really need this buff, and it especially doesn't need it in the form of something that sets you on fire. Fire damage and poison damage and wither damage, they're all kind of frustrating things in Minecraft, and the idea that there's a shockwave type of damage added to this mob, honestly, I don't get excited about that. So yeah, I've been so excited about the other 3 mobs, but I think this one makes it really tricky, and that doesn't seem to be just a me opinion. You might think, Toycat, you're really railing on this mob for no reason. Well, I actually went back and checked my poll that I did for, because, now that this mob is out, we can talk about all 4 mobs together, and we can talk about which one is most likely to be added to the game. So I figured, here's my poll from back when the first 4 mobs were just revealed. Just when we saw the picture of them, we had no information. Back in November the 1st, 2 weeks ago, people actually voted Mob D to be the most interesting mob by quite a bit too. Mob C was the least interesting, and Mob A was the second most. So as you can see, there is an order. Mob D just winning the poll altogether. But now we know everything about the mobs. Here's what mob some people are most likely to vote for. As you can see, Mob C is very slightly ahead. Mob D is behind, and basically the poll flipped. The least interesting looking mob has the most interesting effect, and the most interesting looking mob has the least interesting purpose in the game. Like, I feel like we need Nether content at some point, but I think personally, I think the Hovering Inferno, a Blaze variant, is not the way to do it. Add something new entirely, add something with its own set of loot, add something that you'd be excited to look for, because also bear in mind, this is a rare variant. So unlike the other mobs, where even though they're all somewhat rare, you wouldn't even be able to look for this thing properly. You just have to go around killing blazes until you eventually ran into this thing, and blazes are pretty annoying to search for by themselves, as you've probably realized if you've watched my UHC runs. So yeah, basically, people are not excited for Mob D. I think now that we can talk about all 4, I would say that the least likely mob to be added to the game is Mob D by quite a bit, unless we discover that they all have a treasure attached to them, which it does make sense that we might see that, but unless we discover something amazing about each of the 4 mobs, that really makes Mob D the best again, I feel like this is just not going to be voted for, because every opinion I've heard, I've seen like 2 or 3 people on Twitter say, oh oh yeah, Mob D is okay, but most people are just, you know, really on board with Mob A, B, or C, and it looks like it's now going to be a three-way competition between those three mobs, with Mob A and C looking a bit more popular in my opinion. So yeah, based on that, which mob am I going to be voting for at minecon? That's the big one. I think everyone's here. Like, I've watched all 4 of these videos now, so I can't. Which do you think is the best? Is the question I've seen so much addressed everywhere in the world, and the one I would be voting for personally right now is probably a close toss-up between Mob B and Mob C. I feel like Mob C is the one that interests me in terms of the effect, but Mob B's, you know, coming after you with Insomnia, it just sounds so interesting and exciting. But yeah, it probably has to go for Mob C personally, unless we do discover they have loot, and Mob A has something that's worth looking for and makes the oceans more exciting. Personally, I don't think having one new mob in the ocean adds enough ocean content. I feel like we need to have a full update in Minecraft, or like at least several new features in Minecraft to make the oceans better, and you know, like, I don't think Mob A alone is going to do that unless we discover more about these mobs. I feel like Mob C is probably going to get my vote here. Again, Mob B's, part of me might consider it if we get more information, but right now, based on what we know so far, Mob C is going to be the one that gets me, because the idea of maroon enchantments, the idea of somehow getting random enchantments, it just sounds so great and so fun that personally, I'm just really on board with that. So yeah, that is what we know about all 4 mobs now. We know Mob A is going to be an underwater mob, we know Mob B is going to be a sky mob, we know Mob C is going to be a ground mob, we know Mob D will be a fire mob, so the 4 elements, if you will, and honestly, they all fulfill unique roles in the game, and personally, I'd be really excited if a update added all 4 of them. They've confirmed before, and they've confirmed, you know, like a few times now, that they will be discarding the 3 mobs that we don't vote for, but a part of me, you know, they even said forever, which is upsetting, but I feel like a Minecraft update with all 4 of these mobs would be pretty exciting, right? Like, you can see, just by talking to the community, you can see which mobs are most exciting, and maybe Mob D is one that you might not want to add to the game, but I feel like Mob A, B, and C, it's just, it's hard to imagine a Minecraft having one without the other 2. Imagine a Minecraft with all 3. That's, you know, that's the easiest solution right here, right? Just add all 3 mobs and we'll be happy. But no, in all seriousness, we will be voting for new mobs at Minecon. If I had to make a prediction, make a bet right now as to which one will be added, Mob C looks most likely because of the polls I did on Twitter, because personally it's the one I like, and because honestly the effect is the most intriguing. But we'll have to wait and see. We might see gameplay, we might see something that you know, that changes everyone's minds back again to think Mob D is the best. But that's something we'll have to wait and see at Minecon Earth, which again is in just 2 days. It's this Saturday. I'll be streaming it on this YouTube channel. You know, the time this video went up at, if you check that, that's roughly when the stream will be. It's 4 PM UK, 8 AM if you're on the West Coast of America, 1 PM on the East Coast, and go ahead, come watch Minecon with me. We'll be doing it live, reacting live, and also, in case you don't want to watch a live stream, because not everyone watches live streams, I'll be doing like everything you need to know about Minecon, or like the big, you know, bits of news video just after it goes live. So big Minecon stuff happening this Saturday. We're finally hearing more about the game after a little bit of a dead month. October was just like, oh yeah, there's nothing going on, maybe Minecon's coming soon. Now it's finally happening in just 2 days, and I'm excited, and maybe all of you are too. So thank you very much for watching this video. Like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, leave a comment down below, let me know which of the 4 mobs you like. I want to see if there's any Mob D defenders out there. Tell me why you like Mob D if you do, because I can't see any great reasons to pick it over the other 3 right now, but you know, I'd love to hear have my mind changed. And also, make sure you turn on notifications, because again, there's a lot of news coming out the next few days, and if you want to see it immediately, like you did with this video presumably, then the best way is to turn on notifications, to hit that bell, and I guess I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in my live stream later today. Bye!